The 19th of November and I've had to cave in and go for the woolly hat because it is freezing here in central Scotland. If you're new here and this is the first time clicking on one of our videos, thank you very much. Welcome back. This is Week to Week. My name is William, along with my wife Laura and my brother Andrew. We run the attachment company. Tuesday morning, we're in the yard and let me catch you up on what's been happening this week so far. There was 2 orders out and 1 in yesterday, an Auger Torque X2500 package. This is the most run-of-the-mill attachment that we do here on a weekly basis. That was with 2 size augers, a 300 and a 150, and it was going on the customer's Hitachi ZX17. If you watched last week's video, this will be familiar to you. If you didn't, I'll put a link up here. The other one we sent out yesterday was the Auger Torque 15,000 max drive unit that we replaced the motor on last week. We've done a service on it, we changed the oil, and that was leaving yesterday, going back to the customer and back to work. 1 delivery in yesterday, an Auger Torque 25,000 max drive unit with a 900mm S6 rock auger. That is going to a customer in the USA. I'll fill you in more details on that when we're sending it back out. And then 2 more this morning, a log splitting cone, a 200mm log splitting cone, and a 300mm S4 hard rock auger. They're going to 2 different customers. The cone splitter to a customer down in England and the auger to a customer up in Orkney. So now you're caught up, let's get on with the rest of the week. Plan so far is to obviously get orders out as they come in, and we are gearing up for our open day because we are in China next week, which means when we come back with less than a week from returning to the open day, so we're getting geared up for that all through the week as well. So anything else that comes up I will fill you in, but that is us up to date. Let's get on with the rest of the day. Alright, 7 PM Tuesday evening, not a whole lot more exciting to show you from today, other than we spent a couple of hours assembling a couple of big tilt buckets, 2 Attachworks Scandinavian profile tilt buckets. Got the top brackets on, got the cylinders and the hoses on. Don't have an order anywhere for them to go yet, but they will be out and on display on the open day, so that's good to get another couple of things checked off the list for that. Palletways, picked up both the pallets, they're out, and then I spent a couple of hours just on the computer replying to some emails, sorting some stuff for the open day and making sure we are ready for next week. So that's another day done. As I say, nothing terribly exciting to show you unfortunately, but that is what it is, and we'll see you tomorrow. Very little to show you from this week's event. It was much the same setup, just some booths and some tables in one of the government buildings, but we might have some good information came from it. It's going to be a bit of a long-term thing, trying to get some business from those sorts of departments in government business, but worth going, worth getting the information, something that we can try and build on in the future. That being said, we're on the way back to the yard. Very little interesting to show you today in general, but again, that is what it is. So we're on the way back to the yard and I will fill you in with what else is going on in a minute. I do have a few things to share with you though. First one, I'll put some pictures here. This was a good customer of ours, Sandy Rose from SRS, who was in and got some new augers and some wear parts to refurb these ones. That's on a little Kanga mini loader that they've done a full refurb, full strip, shot blasted paint. You can see there, that's on their Instagram. Go over and check out their work because it is pretty good what they can do. In fact, it's really good what they can do. They were telling me about it when they were up, but it's cool to see it actually finished. So as I say, there's a couple of pictures of that. Sticking with the customer feedback, I'll play this video as I'm talking, but we helped a customer out in the north of Scotland last week, week before last, with some advice for a Knox tilt rotator for the setup on it, and they've sent us this video you can see playing. That is a Kinshofer Knox tilt rotator working away on one of their sites, so thank you very much to Saverite for the video on that. And on an Attachworks update, those were the tilt buckets we were building up last night, but here's a couple of teaser pictures The first in our range of standard, if you like, UK standard excavator buckets. These will be for the Komatsu machines we have in stock, so there'll be a range for the PC26, the 55 and the 80. They are done, or the first samples are done and at the factory, as you can see, so we look forward to getting them over. And I'll stick a couple of drawings in here as well. We have the first drawings back for our Euro hitch front loader buckets. That's something I've been wanting to get into a little bit more for the last wee while, is more of the agricultural sector. So there are some of the designs for our first front loader buckets. So that's pretty much the update. That's the only exciting stuff happening today, unless anything else comes up. That is us for Wednesday. Thursday morning and still freezing cold here in Scotland, but one delivery in and technically one out this morning. Delivery in from Augertorque, I'll show you around in a minute. And Malcolm's, WH Malcolm, were in to pick up the 14-ton Volvo that we were repairing the knocks on from a couple of weeks ago. So that's the way out. This Augertorque order is in. There's a couple of things to go with it till I build up the full order to get it back out, and I'll show you around. Let me show you around this order this morning. It is an 8000 max drive unit. There's some associated bits to go with it. I'll explain what they are in a second, but it is the exact same drive as this. This is one that came back from a hire last night, but it's the same drive as that, the 8000 max. And you can see on this drive where the hoses go straight in the top of the hydraulic motor. If we compare that to the one that's here for today's order, you will see some extra fittings, some short lengths of hose, and then there are pressure sensors on the end of the hose. They'll get a plug, goes on them, they'll tuck down into the top of the hood. Let me show you. They'll tuck down in there. What they do is plug in to this. It then goes back to the cab of the excavator. That is a tablet. There'll be a mount in there for it somewhere. There is. And what that's for, I'll put some pictures and some information here as I'm talking, but what that's for is for Augertorque's Insight product. Again, I'll put some more details here as I'm talking through it. What that will allow the customer to do with this setup is to monitor the pressure, essentially the pressure in and the pressure out, and it uses that to calculate the theoretical torque output of the drive. It also gives you an alignment monitor and data logging, so it will log every single time that they spin the drive up and what sort of torque has been produced. What sort of torque has been produced? The reason for that is because they are fitting ground screws, are bigger ones than these, but that is a ground screw there. And what they need to do is drive them into the ground with a certain level of torque, or maxing out a certain level of torque to show that they are properly inserted in the ground so that they can build off the top of them. I'll try and find an illustration here to show you what a ground screw is like and then how you build off the top of it. But yeah, essentially they're going to use the excavator to install the ground screws and then they can build up off of there. That's why there's a couple of weld-on hubs going with it as well, so they can make some adapters to drive the screws, and there is a hard rock auger going with it as well. Now this is going on a customer's Takeuchi TB219, which normally, if it was just for drilling purposes, an 8000 max would be massive overkill, but because they want to put the ground screws in, they're less concerned about rotation speed of RPM than they are about overall torque output. I'll put some footage in here as I'm talking you through it, but we tested this out months ago, maybe a year ago now, on a TB219, just to see what the drive looked like on it, what sort of turning speed we could get, and I'll put some footage in here and I'll link up above to the video with that one to get you some more details if you want to see it actually working. Enough talking for me, I'm going to go finish packing this up, finish hooking up the sensors, get it all back in the box and get it ready to go. Right, 3 PM Thursday. Laura's here. It is full on hat weather. She's sorting some bits and pieces for the open days. I'm going to nip over to the welders, pick up some stuff. One I think for an order and the rest are for the open days as well, so let's go and do that first. Right, 3 minutes past 12 Friday afternoon. We've been back to the yard. We picked up some brackets, dropped them at the welders, leaving there just now because we're going into town. We have a couple of meetings on this afternoon. First one with our accountants, so probably nothing interesting to show you for there, but if anything else comes up this afternoon, we do have a slight issue regarding the open day, but I'll explain that later. Head towards Glasgow now. Agree?
Yep.
Glad. This may well be the most boring episode we've made in a while, so feel free to skip on to next week because I promise it to be way more exciting. However, that is what it is. We don't make things up in here, we just show you exactly what's going on. So, with that being said, it's now Saturday morning. The weather is still miserable outside, but little we can do about that. Packed up the air freight order with the 25,000 max and the 900 auger. It's going over to Denver. Packed it up actually Thursday evening, but then because we weren't here yesterday, didn't get out yesterday, so hopefully we can get that collected today, get that on its route on Monday. Other than that, we've a couple of orders to get ready. One to hopefully try and get out today that customers want to pick up if the couriers play ball, and then we're just trying to get ready to make sure we're ready to go away because Laura and I are leaving tomorrow to go to China. So I'll give you the details on that tomorrow, but yeah, that's what's happening just now. Let's get these orders cracked on, ready to go. I've got one, as I said, hopefully Palletways can lift, and another one that a customer is coming to pick up this afternoon. I was hopeful we could do some open day prep outside, but you've seen the weather, so that'll be out the window for today until we get back. And the Knox tilt rotator issue I mentioned yesterday, I think, with my fingers, I think might be sorted. It's going to be very tight the week we get back, but it is what it is. We're used to it by now, and hopefully everything gets here. We can get it fitted and get it on in time for the open day, but in the meantime, let's crack on with what's happening today, and then I'll show you around these orders once we've got them ready to go. We are built and ready to go. Two auger packages, two X2500s, one with a bracket for a Bobcat note for a Takeuchi TB230, the other with a bracket for a Volvo ECR25. Rather incredibly, both orders arrived this morning, or just now. They're 1:30. My watch still an hour quick, 1 o'clock. Both good to go. 3:30 Saturday afternoon, and we are out of here. Customer was in and picked up one of the X2500 packages. That's going on a Volvo ECR25. We might get, if we can get some pictures, I will share them with you. Otherwise, we are out here to go thaw out, defrost, warm up, get the dog sorted, go drop him off, and then it is airport first thing in the morning.
So cold.
20 minutes to 5 Sunday morning, we are in Edinburgh Airport. Laura is in the shop somewhere, but we're through security and waiting on the flight to Heathrow. Then it is a 12.5-hour flight to Shanghai. So yeah, a Sunday change of pace for a Sunday. Looking forward to getting there. I think Laura's a bit apprehensive just because of the unknown. We've never been to China, but I'm looking forward to getting there. Looking forward to the show. I'll catch up with you when we're in Heathrow, and then that'll probably will be us for the end of this episode. One airport to another, we're now in the lounge at Heathrow waiting on the flight to Shanghai. How long have we got? 4 hours. 4 hours wait, and then a 12.5-hour flight to Shanghai, so that's pretty much going to be us for this week. As I said, not terribly exciting. Stay tuned for next week. I'll show you in a second some stuff to look out for next week. But if you've made it to the end of this week's video, let us know what you think in the comments. We are down there, press like and subscribe. You've been doing us a massive favour. Anything else?
No.
Thank you again. Goodbye.